Hello and welcome to another edition of the program Total Woman on AD4 TV Radio. My name is Mute Olori. Today on the program, we're going to be looking at accelerating competitiveness among women in micro, small, and medium enterprises. There is a popular saying in the Christian Holy Book that do not despise the days of little beginnings. That quote aptly captures the essence of life about the fact that in every human endeavor, there is always the need to start somewhere, no matter the size or location, because only small beginnings lead to great heights. So this is the story of some women in micro, small, and medium enterprises who are striving daily to make a difference through small-scale businesses. Micro, small, and medium enterprises play a big role in the Nigerian economy and economics around the world. MSMEs outnumber large companies by wide margins and also employ more people than the supposed mainstream blue-chip companies. However, people in this sector still have a lot to chew. That is why the Raw Material Research and Development Council of Nigeria, in partnership with the Global Center for Human Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development Body, alongside the Association of Women in Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise, put together the 2021 Annual Roundtable between federal government agencies and women operating in the micro, small, and medium enterprise. Some participants at the meeting talked about the challenges they face in running their own businesses.
I'm into production of spices, organic spice. When I say organic spice, I mean natural. We get it from our natural sources. And also I'm into farming. The market is not stable. As when I mean stable, the market is not moving the way it ought to move because of the financial situation. Getting raw material is now a problem, and there are causes. The thing that cause all this, some of this shortage of this material is because of insecurity. Those who farm ginger, for example, they are no longer going to the farm. So when they farm it, they are kidnapped, or at the end of the day they will go and sell those things and go and settle those who have kidnapped them. So insecurity is actually a very big challenge to us in this particular industry. We're not accessing government fund. Government is saying that it's giving money to SMEs, but we are not be able to access it, even with our cluster, because this is a women group, which I've told you I'm part of, about 2 of them. Even the COVID-19, they say they are giving us palliative. We are not able to access any of them.
I'm an entrepreneur and I'm into herbal tea, natural honey, and then also cosmetics. The challenges I have is with these agencies, especially NAFDAC. I've been trying to register. Accessing NAFDAC is like a big challenge. Sometimes they outline what they give us. The process to get registered is so hectic that it discourages us most times. Accessing funding is not really easy.
I'm a marketer of chemicals, like industrial chemicals. And also I'm into production of cosmetics, like skincare products. There are a lot of challenges I face because right now I'm doing all this in my, should I call it in my small shop. Actually, my shop is located inside the markets. And due to this, with this I cannot obtain NAFDAC number for now because I've gone to NAFDAC to ask them the process of how I can get NAFDAC numbers for some of my products to enable me marketing them or distributing them across the states and outside the states. But their requirements, should I say, is still beyond my own capacity for now.
The event, which was to accelerate partnership for competitiveness among women in the micro, small, and medium enterprise space for economic sustainability, featured resource persons who spoke on best practices to adopt in a competitive market.
The most important partner is the knowledge environment that has the mandate in the type of business you are doing. That is why the universities are there. The type of crops you are planting, if you are a woman in business, for instance, you do tomato and pepper. Our former tomato, the traditional one, is big, with so much water, with so much seed, no flesh. So even if you plant 10 hectares, the yield from that 10 hectares cannot sustain a small business. But given the power of science, technology, and innovation today, the type of tomato we are producing now is bigger, it has more flesh, little or no water in it, and the yield per hectare is more. And then if you crush it, the tomato paste you get is more than, from 1 hectare is more than 10 hectares of the old. You don't need to be a full animal today to own 1,000, 2,000 cows. Science has made it in such a way that if you give me 100 cows, female cows today, I can make all of them pregnant. They deliver at the same time for me. The way you used to have day-old chick. Science has made cows, goats, pigs, the same thing. So, we are not leaving this place without promising to change the narrative. Don't say my business is just to make ordinary broom from the leaves of a palm tree. Go to the university. Tell them that the type of leaves you have now, they don't give you a long span. They can work on it and have palm trees that the leaf can be as long as from here to that place. So you are critical stakeholders within the STI ecosystem. You have every right to seek for the knowledge. You have every right to improve your business.
Branding is a big issue. When I talk about Ghanaians selling our products abroad, that's what they do. They get their branding right and they make them attractive so that our dudu also looks like something from the moon just by the packaging alone, and they sell it and make good money better than us. We need to tell our ladies, our women, how to do pricing. It's a key component of what we are doing. Otherwise, you keep struggling and toiling, and you sell at a price that makes the whole thing hopeless, and you fall into that hopelessness and you start all over again. That will have to stop.
If we must go on MSME, you must be able to choose a partnership that will be very fit for you. According to the Africa Public Service Delivery and Performance Review, published in Publishers of African Development Watch, over 70% of small and micro and medium enterprises in Africa fold up within the first 5 to 7 years of inception. Why? Because there is no business plan. There is no feasibility studies. And very many of us enter business without plans. And that's why Professor Shubi in management said that if you plan, which he borrowed from Peter Drucker, the management guru, he said, when you plan to fail, you fail to plan.
I'll take a short break. When I return, we will be speaking with the Executive Director of the Global Center for Women Development and Empowerment. Please don't go away.
On 9th November 2020, Intentional by Anams evolved from a desire for fashion and passion for trends. The past 12 months have recorded lots of highs than lows, and that is what passion can do. Besides passion, our clients across the globe are a real driving force. Each and every one of you has made the past 1 year the most memorable. The time and resources you have invested in us have been the booster tonic that drives us to serve you better every day. Intentional by Adams is a brand created for women of all colors, shapes, and sizes to intentionally up their personalities, careers, and confidence in style. We thank you all for consistently believing and sticking to our brand in the past 1 year. Intentional by Adams, live your style.
Welcome back. It's still Total Woman on 84 TV Radio, and we've been talking about competitiveness amongst women in micro, small, and medium enterprise. 84 TV Radio crew spoke to Gloria Efam, an executive financial planner who delivered a paper at the event on the importance of insurance to business.
It's so important because it's one of your risk management tools as a business person. Like I said while I was giving the talk, it helps you to avoid out-of-pocket settlement, and it also puts you back to where you were before the accident, because that's the whole point of insurance. The insurance will help you to bring you back to where you were before the accident. And although we are all very hopeful that there will be no accident, but accident will surely happen. And for a small business, it's very important that they take out insurance, because it will definitely help them to on their risk management bit. It's one of their risk management tools that they need to consider, very much so.
The Director General of the Global Center for Human Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development, and Executive Director, Association of Women in Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, also spoke on the trust of this year's forum and how women can leverage on the opportunities to become more competitive in their field.
The 5th annual roundtable is the roundtable is a platform where women MSMEs across associations come together to engage with regulatory agencies with a view to making their products competitive. And the 5th in the series, which had the theme Accelerating Partnerships Among Women MSMEs for Increase in Competitiveness, it was targeted at, talking about competitive processes and practices within the SME space. Women are usually start their enterprises from their kitchen. From family recipes, it now grows up to be a commercial enterprise, and yet with little or no adherence to best business practices like maybe standardization, certification of the process, and all that. And so this roundtable is organized annually to remind ourselves of the need to adopt to business best practices and agronomic good agronomic practices. And for this year, I said it's peculiar because we had speakers that were not from the government regulatory agencies strictly. We had our peers in the SME space that came to actually share their experiences with us, to give us the private sector perspective towards competitiveness by women in MSMEs. Because deliberately we wanted to tell ourselves the need for collaboration within the space. The market is very wide. There was no need, running at cross purposes. But when we collaborate together, we gain more. Our businesses get more sustained because we will have better access to markets, we will have better access to capacity building, and also better access to information.
Wow! Micro, small, and medium enterprises are important agents of economic growth as they provide more than 50% of the GDP of developing nations. They also supply human capital, innovation, and technological development, as well as raw materials to bigger firms. So this calls for massive support for people in this sector, especially women who make up to 75% in the small scale business. When you see a woman in the Msme'S, please do well to patronize them. Please join us again next week for another interesting edition of Total Woman on 84 TV Radio. My name is Mute Olori. Thank you.